Scared doggo. You can see his tail tucked in behind his legs. I think there's some sort of construction work going on that's loud on the left. Or maybe someone got up early to burst crackers today. Where'd he go? Good morning, YouTube. I'm Ogi F. This is Riot, my KTM 390 adventure. I was going to say RC 390. And we're on our way to work today. And I thought I'd just put in a quick vlog for you guys. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these regular vlogs on the motorcycle. And I've browsed through some of my content over the last few weeks while I was unwell, and realized that I don't really have too many videos on the 390 adventure. I've mostly been reviewing other motorcycles and doing longer rides on like the Ducati, the Tiger, and a few other bikes as well. But yeah, I thought I'd start putting together a few more vlogs like this just to make sure that I have memories of this motorcycle at some point in time. And unlike most people, I think I've been in this... What the f*** are people doing? Yeah. I promised myself I wouldn't abuse today, but I can't really help it, dude. Some people are just asking for it.
You're asking for it? You're dying for it?
And rickshaw guy has done a great job by blocking the route for everyone. The reason I've been around, I think, on social media for so long is because I'm a fan of the game, and B, then a content creator. And I think I've had the opportunity to watch some really good content over the last few weeks while I was taking a break for myself and recovering from my illness, of course. Nothing serious for those of you wondering. I know that I'll get comments saying, oh, get well soon, get well soon. No. It's just a cough and a cold and slight fever. And yeah, I lost my voice because of that. I had a sore throat, couldn't speak. So I couldn't vlog, and well, couldn't make content without a voice, can I? But yeah, I was watching this video by, I think the channel is The Quint, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. They made a really interesting video on, well, I think we can call it a documentary at this point, but it was a very interesting video about how India as a country and most of our metros lack the infrastructure for people to be able to walk around. Now, as I say that, you can see the footpaths around me, and you can see the condition of the footpath for that matter. You'll see most places blocked off, like over here. Yeah, pots around suddenly blocking you off. It forces pedestrians to get back onto the road, and well, pedestrians have a lot more other challenges because of us bad drivers and riders. And I'm saying us because not all of us are as responsible as you would have seen from my Bad Mumbai Drivers series. Slight wave to the kids, never hurt anyone. Staring at his phone while he's taking a U-turn at an intersection. Anywho, yeah, getting back to the point I was making about footpaths. I think there's plenty of people who prefer walking to driving or riding. I know a lot of people love riding cycles, but again, the infrastructure is not supportive of that decision. Again, look at the state of this footpath, right? There's so many manholes. Who knows what the condition of those manholes are. Some are open, some are broken, the covers are dicey. You never know what you're getting yourself into. It's probably more adventurous than riding on the road. And then you have the morons who take their two-wheelers, delivery guys, squids. They take their two-wheelers onto the footpath as well. You have to deal with that too. And then you have, well, I hate to ruin your day by saying this, and I hope you're not eating a meal while I'm talking about this, but then you have people and dogs like shitting on the footpath, and then you have to avoid that too. And then it becomes like one of those old school video games, right? On the Sega and Nintendo that you used to play, where you have to avoid these obstacles while trying to make it to some place. It's just crazy. And they also brought in an expert, someone who was a city planner, who had way more credentials than most of the people sitting in office, I think, at the moment. But this guy brought up a very valid point, and he said that the reason for all of this happening over the years, because I remember as a child being able to walk through Mumbai streets very freely without having to worry about traffic, without having to worry about people on footpaths and whatnot. Reason number one is vehicles are aspirational products for us as Indians. I think it's a status symbol more than a mode of transport. People choose their vehicles based on the show-off power than the actual capability of their vehicles sometimes, and you see that in the biking community very often. In fact, I constantly get asked, when are you upgrading, when, man, I've not even been able to explore probably 60% of the potential of this motorcycle and what it can do. And the people asking those questions maybe won't be able to exploit even 10% of it. And because of that, there's a lot more vehicles on the road, which is why then the roads have to be widened, because, well, you have to accommodate more vehicles on the road. And then with the roads being widened, that means that the footpaths become smaller. Now, a bridge like this, if you look around, there are people walking, but there's no place for them to actually walk. You see that thin line over there? I guess that's the only space that they have at the moment. And I believe in Pune and in Mumbai and in other parts of the country, Bangalore as well, there are groups that have come together to talk about this issue and to kind of work with the local governments to figure out ways that we can coexist. Now look over here, there's a footpath that starts over here, but where did these people come from, right? I know there's steps downstairs that bring you up here, but are you only allowed to go this way and not back there? That is strange, right? The second reason this gentleman gave us in the documentary was that most of the structures around India right now, most of the developing cities in India have these gated societies, and they're no longer these row houses or buildings. We have large plots of land that have been given to private builders to be able to build these gated communities where outsiders can't even pass through. So even if I wanted to go from point A to point B and there's a private society somewhere in between, I need to then walk all the way around it to get to my destination. That's a bit of a bummer, no? I think the other worry that we have is the footpaths that do exist, there's always big vehicles parked next to it. Like for example over here, you see trucks, you see buses, you see tempos parked next to the footpath. And what that does is then it creates some sort of a corridor, an enclosed space, which, well, if they aren't well lit, become very dangerous for women or anyone for that matter to travel through. Because then you're allowing people who want to harm you to be, well, brilliant stuff, dude, brilliant stuff. These guys come and dance here on the middle of the road, coming down the wrong way. Yeah, but you then encourage these kind of miscreants to be on the footpath and cause way more harm than they otherwise would be able to. If you look around us, the city is great. I think we're spending a lot more on infrastructure than we used to. We've got, and I'm talking about Mumbai over here, we've got one of the, if not the richest corporation. And if that money isn't going towards the people, who the f*** is it going towards, dude? Our roads are absolute shit. Barring a few places here and there where when the Prime Minister of the UK visits or any other dignitary from another country visits us. But footpaths, I mean, we complain about potholes, and after a lot of complaining they do get looked at, but I don't think anyone complains about footpaths here. At least not that I've seen. I'm not discrediting anyone who's taking up that initiative. And again, I'm not trying to compare our country with other countries, but when I visited other countries, for example Singapore was beautiful. Singapore had provisions for even blind people to walk around the city without having to worry about it. There was sounds at the signals, there were these indentations, these markings on footpaths for them to understand where they were and how far they were from their destination. There was a whole lot of inclusivity that was built into their culture and built into the way they commute around the city. I think that's far-fetched for us at the state of corruption that we're at right now. But I hope at some point in time that we can at least consider that and maybe do a few things to help our fellow citizens. Alright, that's pretty much all I had for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you like it and if you want to see more vlogs like this, please let me know about it in the comments. If you don't, well, please share your feedback there too. As always guys, at least wear your helmets while riding your motorcycles and ride safe. It's a freaking jungle out there. Goodbye.